Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis. Here on my birthdays, we talk about the traitors. And here to do this with me is my traitorous or faithful bestie, Jojo.
Oh no, it was supposed to be lined up already. Happy birthday, girlie!
Yay!
Yay!
Who's singing?
I think that was AI because she was like, dun, dun. Like, oh my god.
Well,
listen to it first.
Thank you. I appreciate a happy birthday song. Well, I haven't even talked to you about the Traitors yet. Tell me all your thoughts, about the season so far.
Okay, season 3. I think the word to describe season 3 right now is messy. I listen. I love strategy-based games, obviously, but I watch Traitors for the fun, for the messiness, for the entertainment. So far, I love it. I gotta say. And now that UK is over, we'll be dragging along to the finale now.
So you're watching UK, or I'm not up to date because I wanted to cover it and then I got behind.
I did. Finished it
you-
last night.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I liked season 3 quite a bit. There was a little. I feel like the general public gave it a hard time about the cast at the beginning. I really enjoyed the cast. I think it's lived up to its traitorous reputation, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, that's good. I liked it so far. I had no problems with the cast, so well, I'll definitely be catching up on that now that it's done. Like, it's hard to deal with 3 episodes a week, but then when it's done, it's like, oh, it's done so quick. We have like 2 months probably still to go, or like 6 weeks
Actually,
or so.
Yeah, it's strange to have 3 episodes of one show a week, and then you wait for a Thursday for the US edition.
Exactly. So like I do Love Island, and Love Island's every day, so I'm used to that pace. But so I would be used to the pace if we did it, but we don't do it for this one. It was hard to do the 3 episodes in one night for the premiere, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I can handle 3 episodes of the Traitors USA in a week. I probably could.
You could, but I do like spreading it out. I do like water cooler talk. You have the week to kind of decompress and think about what's about to happen.
So okay, what were your thoughts then on the original Traitors? Like, were you like, yeah, give me everything.
Okay, I thought the picks were incredible. Danielle, Bob the Drag Queen, and Carolyn. I think they could have melded really nicely together, but I loved that there was kind of discourse right away. I think it's obvious that one of the 3 that joined the game later on in the first episode, I think it was going to be obvious that one would be a traitor. So the mentality of let's focus on getting, finding a traitor out of these 3 made complete sense.
Yeah, definitely. Now, so I obviously Bob the Drag Queen, right? I don't know if you watch all episodes of Drag Race or not. Do you? Yeah, you're up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love Bob the Drag Queen. I thought he was a fantastic traitor. Now, some people are saying that Boston Rob has come in and has ruined the turret, and him coming in with strategy is kind of the messiness is all gone, and like people wanted to see the dynamic of Bob the Drag Queen, Danielle, and Carolyn. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely don't think Boston Rob coming in ruined it for them, but I think Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen would be similar players in the sense that they like to build armies. They like to build rapport. Bob the Drag Queen really could have floated by gathering more numbers. And his fatal flaw in the game really did come down to mentioning the 3 men joining the game later on. I think Boston Rob was going to be jealous and wanted to get grab a chokehold of the game in general. So no surprise that he went after Bob the Drag Queen. But watching that was incredible television.
It was great.
And I have to say, I really think that I'd be looking at Boston Rob with big eyes after how it all went down.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, yeah. What about the execution of that? Like, I mean, yes. If I was Boston Rob, I would have been, oh my gosh, like, why is he outing me here and making people start looking at me and the other two cage boys? Like, that sucks. I would have probably held off 1 week, maybe, or 1 round, and let Nikki or Sierra go. You know, the other two people, and then maybe even the next person go. But just have my eye on Bob the Drag Queen, and then maybe take him out next. You know what I mean? I do think he might have went too early and a little bit too hard. Just to, you know, like, why was he so sure? Why did he know? Why was he had such conviction going back and forth with Bob the Drag Queen?
I mean, you take the shot, it has to land. I personally thought it was too early, but at the same time, you know, like, this game is quick, it's fast. Paranoia starts right away. You know, we saw Sierra say, "I'm next." Like, you all think I'm a traitor. I'm going to be next. There is fear-based gameplay. I think Boston Rob was afraid of Bob the Drag Queen and took the shot when he thought he could get the numbers.
I mean, yeah, I guess also it's such a fast-paced game that who knows if you're going to get another opportunity? Who knows if he's saying that now? Like, is he laying the groundwork to, like, do something else that he's unaware of? And so, I mean, I can understand being fearful that he was so willy-nilly to just say that about, you know, the other cage boys at that point. Yeah,
Cage boys.
I love the cage boys.
Cage boys.
Now, has anybody? Well, so what do you been thinking about Danielle's gameplay?
You know, I watched Danielle. Like, Danielle. Okay, what can I say about Danielle? I will never disrespect Danielle as a Big Brother player. I think she is an incredible player of Big Brother. I think I was so happy to get her on Reindeer Games, to have her back on television. Felt totally spoiled to have that experience with her. Was very excited to see her on Traitors. I think she's a strategist and incredibly smart. But I think this has been a tough game. It's a tough watch. It's really rough, but I also love it. I love watching Danielle, like, make mistakes. And yeah, it's like, it's amazing. I'm not going to complain. I'm happy to have Danielle.
I'm happy to have Danielle, but it's in my opinion, it's not the greatest showing of what she's capable of. What it seems like is she really thrives when she works with another person in, like, a duo situation, and, you know, maybe bounce back ideas, somebody that's a little bit submissive to her, that allows her to kind of push her agenda forward. And not that Bob the Drag Queen was submissive to her, but he was a duo that she could count on. Yeah. And it seems as though in the game of Traitors, she doesn't really actually understand the strategy of it.
Yeah, I
don't know if she's watched other seasons. It doesn't seem like she was watched seasons of The Traitor.
God, I would hope so. I would really hope that she did, but it doesn't seem that way, no.
Hi, Taku. Taku is joining us. And Taj, hello. Hi, friends. Taj says, Danielle probably would have been a better fit. Yeah, I think she would have been a really, really good faithful, and then maybe get recruited, and maybe she would have been a better recruitment traitor. But right now, off the bat, like, I don't even recognize her the way that she's playing her faithful route. Like, I'm just like, who is this person?
Yeah, and I will say, compared to Dan last season, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually think she's doing a better job than Dan, in the sense that
I agree.
In the sense that she's, you know, she's being vocal, she's still socializing with everyone and trying to appear faithful, though poorly at times.
And, like, making friends and stuff like that. Like, she has, you know, Dylan on her side, and, like, she's still communicating with people. She's not necessarily throwing out names, but, like, yeah, she is acting more faithful. Well, not yet.
Oh.
Don't say anything yet about that.
We'll get there.
We will get there. And lastly, about Carolyn, how are you feeling about her game so far? Before this episode, we'll say.
I think Carolyn the word for Carolyn is underestimated, right? People really underestimate her. And if you watched season 44 of Survivor, you should know that Carolyn's a gamer. She actually uses her brain to play games. Yes, she may be aloof, and someone might look at her as like a personality hire, but Carolyn's a really smart person and a really smart player. So if I was in a castle with her, I would be looking at her right away.
I don't think I'd be looking at her right away, but if I was a traitor with her, I would be like, I find it very strange that these gamers that are in the turret are not thinking about the other game within the game. Is that's to get along with your other traitors in order to stab them in the back. Like, you can't have them hate you and want to throw you under the bus and get you out of the game. Like, you can't.
No. You have to work together up until a certain point. Unless you're unless you do have a ride or die, like Bob the Drag Queen and Danielle could have made it to the end. They would have wanted to most likely win together. I think even if you're not agreeing initially, coming up with a plan saying, okay, if you're choosing this person tonight, I would love the opportunity to murder tomorrow. Okay, cool. Then we can all go, yes.
If it's more beneficial to you, just be like, okay, do you think we could do this week? Because I have some heat on me for blah, 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 blah. And like, I think that it would help me with this and this. And I think it also, and maybe show how it would help the other people in their games. Like, it just, people seem to strong arm the other traitors and be like, no, we got to do it this week. And that's the best move. And it's like, for who?
That leaves a bad taste in someone's mouth. And, I if I was Carolyn, I wouldn't feel good about it. But I also think the editing of the show is, it's really pushing that Carolyn is not happy up there with those traitors. So we shall see how it goes down.
We started this episode with them at the turret. So this was after Bob the Drag Queen getting taken out, basically, at the hands of Boston Rob. And he says, like, I would never come for you unless you come for me.
Yeah.
Which is a threat.
Yeah. I mean, he's being honest with it, and giving a reason for going after Bob. But I don't think that was necessarily the reason. I think he was afraid of Bob. I think Bob holds a lot of social capital and could have had numbers to make things work. So I do think, like, cutting the head off, I get it, but the way Rob went about it, having someone else suggest it right away would have been ideal. I wouldn't have wanted to be Boston Rob saying, okay, everyone, this is the person we're going to banish this evening because I think they're the traitor. Telling it to Wes or someone else that can be a little bit more vocal, I would want that he done that.
He wanted that to happen, but it wasn't happening, and he wanted the hit to come like that roundtable, because it seemed like he was waiting and Dylan hadn't said anything, and like, because he didn't want to be leading the charge here. Like at the round table, he was getting all the numbers, he's getting people. I think he wanted Dylan to bring it up, and then maybe he would piggyback on it a little bit, but Dylan didn't. He was quite quiet until Boston Rob said something. So I understand that he had a sense of urgency that he wanted to withhold, and when it wasn't happening, and he doesn't know when the round table is going to be over, and Alan's going to be like, okay, let's vote. I think that he just got nervous that it wouldn't happen, and so he just took the initiative. So Carolyn is not happy about this. Obviously, they both think that they're supposed to be a team here. Carolyn thinks it's an ego thing. You agree with that? I'm assuming
100%.
They definitely aren't happy with him, Danielle and Carolyn. Like, they're just giving him like stink eye in the turret.
Yeah, I would too. It's fresh.
So Danielle and Carolyn, they think that Sam might be the best pick here. I actually agreed with this. What did you think?
I think if I was standing in that castle day one and Alan brings Boston Rob up and says,
I would have brought Boston Rob in, and Sam would have been out of there. Yeah.
Or Tom. Free Britney, #free Britney, goodbye. Shocked it didn't happen. Or even like Chriselle. I'm surprised she didn't go up and just say, get Tom out of here. Screw it. I am not a fan of Sam. The only thing I have been a fan of
Sam?
Sam,
Britney stuff?
100%. The only thing I like about Sam is his shower scenes where like when he's about to get murdered, I'm like, okay, I to look at, sure, great. But I think murdering Sam would, chop up some of this boy club business.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he brings that much to the table. If I were on the cast and I had the opportunity to bring Boston Rob into the game or take out someone that I don't know anything about, I'd be like, Boston Rob, we're allies now. Like, let's take
Yeah,
out like everybody.
100%.
Like, because at that point you don't know nobody knows who the traitors are. So I
No,
think I would have taken that opportunity
it,
to at least gain an ally in Boston Rob. And then if he was a traitor, I would have a traitor close, right?
yeah, and there's like you can give a reason saying, what your personal reason was. Announce it to everyone. This is why I'm doing this. Here we go. Let's move on.
So Taj says, yes, Sam shower. B-roll, maybe audibly gas.
Yeah. It was nice.
That's hilarious. You guys are funny. So Rob wants Robin. Why do you think Rob wants Robin?
Just because everyone's looking at her as a faithful, I'd assume. I think this
Yeah.
whole decimation of the housewives, though, really not smart gameplay.
Well, the first one I didn't think was great because, like, I really liked Dorinda. I wanted to see what she could do because she's quite wacky.
Yes.
And so I was interested just to see her at once at a round table or something.
Yes.
I thought that she had some suspicion on her, so like Lord Ivar would still look like a suspect and just not killing her, maybe. And so yeah, I think that they could have played in that a little bit longer.
Yeah.
The suspicion of it all, but then they take out two housewives. They were trying to pin it on Dolores and Robin ish, but like they're both very faithful.
Yeah. 1,000,000%. They're not coming into this game like wanting to be a traitor, I'm assuming. They're there with incredible fashion to show off some personality. Wouldn't consider them necessarily game players, but they're going to be vocal. They're going to bring some heat, especially at the round table. And that's what you want. I'd either want to banish someone incredibly quiet or, an actual gamer. If I saw Brittany there, bye, Brittany. Love ya, but bye.
You get rid of Brittany?
I would be afraid of Brittany, hands down. I think Brittany's a great gamer. So I'd want to murder her, yeah. 100%.
Oh
I mean, I want to
God.
stick around and become besties, but
That's what I would think.
game-wise, bye. Love ya.
Caroline thinks that this is a bad move. You shouldn't go for Robin. They think that Gabby might be a better option. I don't want Gabby to go. I really like Gabby too.
I love Gabby. I love Bambi. I think Gabby, Gabby's also been very vocally like pro women. So if I'm a traitor, if I'm Carolyn or Danielle, I don't necessarily think Gabby's going to be coming for me at that table. So I don't think murdering her is a great idea. She has these beautiful doe eyes and she's so sweet. That could be a great cover for a traitor, and pushing that narrative, if she's sticking around, could also be a smart thing.
It's Dylan that thinks that Gabby is a traitor.
Yeah.
I would maybe like build on that and build a case for that to be the truth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I don't want. Yeah, I definitely would keep Gabby in the game. Well, it's because I like her. But hi, DM. DM says, "Hey, Big Brother players should never be traitors anymore. Do you agree or disagree?"
I disagree. I think it depends on the player. Anyone that watched season 2 of Canada, come on. Is Serene also not considered a Big Brother player? I know it was afterwards. But I think some people can really do well as traitors, and other people who might play Big Brother really well clearly
aren't being chosen. Or the style of gameplay that they have is not working for the traitors. Yes. Because now I gotta say, I was never a fan of Dan's gameplay necessarily on Big Brother. Like, obviously, I thought he was a great, smart player, but some people are just like, oh my God, he's the god of Big Brother. And I never felt that way. I was just always like, okay, like, I mean, good job, great work. Like, but I never put him up like as number one. Same with Derek. I never put him up as number one. I never enjoyed his game. Danielle's game I did enjoy, but this was also 20 something years ago. It was the first time we're really seeing all this strategy and like people doing such a good job, and so maybe her game hasn't evolved with the time to be able to see how much more nuanced it could be. So I don't necessarily think that it's a Big Brother issue. I think that it's the type of game players from Big Brother that they're choosing.
Yeah, I think when Taylor Hale is on next season, I'm sure she's going to crush it.
They can't make her a traitor, though. That's too much.
No, she'll be she'll be a recruit. Halfway through episode 6.
But like, I would like to see it, but I don't know if Taylor would be a good traitor.
I don't know. I think, well, I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Like, you see her being able to be deceitful and like, lie to people.
I think that's the game she wanted to play on Big Brother, but never had the opportunity to due to, the cast that she was playing with.
But she was never a Big Brother fan. She was a full-on recruit.
Yeah. I think she became a fan. She became a fan watching
after. Oh, yeah.
Like studying the game before playing it. I think even during, reindeer games, I think I saw more gameplay from her that I thought, okay, Taylor, bring it on. So I don't know how deceitful she could be, but a beauty queen traitor can definitely happen.
DM thinks Chelsea from Big Brother 26 would be a great traitor.
I think Chelsea is an incredible gamer, so I wouldn't be surprised. Be a great
traitor. I'm just the being deceitful the whole time and maintaining that is what even for myself, I would find it to be challenging. Like, because you want to be yourself, but like you might feel bad that you're lying to people. It's a game, but there's also people's dreams. They gave up time to be there. And so a bit of guilt would take over. And yeah.
I don't know. I think the selfish part of me would just really try and put the faithful act on. Like daytime, just think like a traitor. In the evening, when that bell strikes, all right, game on. But during the day, you really have to play up your faithful acting chops.
Well, and our Big Brother Canada Big Brother traitor, she did say that she knew that Dan was getting a lot of flack for his game, but she did emulate his game a little bit with like knowing when to stay quiet. But she had names, like she did a little bit more work than Dan did. So I guess, I mean, being a traitor is actually very difficult. I know that, Derek said that, it would be easier to be a traitor. Yes, because you have more information, but I think it's also more challenging to not be yourself.
Yeah.
I
think it's finding the balance of being yourself, but also, you're in a game, and that is why you're there, to win.
Now, with how we've been watching Danielle play this game so far, she says that she's going to be a secret assassin. That's the only way to be able to take out Boston Rob. Now, do you think that they are showing this soundbite, this clip, because it will actually happen? Or is it because she will not flounder in taking out Boston Rob?
Of the 3 traitors, I do think Boston Rob will be the first to go.
I do. Why do you think this? But but you didn't answer my question. Was that a diplomatic answer?
No, I think Danielle will get her way, only because there is enough heat on Boston Rob with the whole Wes Ivor thing, conversations. Derek is kind of suspicious. I think if Derek gets murdered, I think people are going to look at Boston Rob.
Why? But the only person they don't know that Derek is just, like, Boston Rob doesn't know officially that Derek is. So,
but I mean, Wes is aware of Derek's his thoughts on Boston Rob. Like, we'll get to it later, clearly. But I think also big hint is Danielle's clothes. There have been scenes out there with her at the round table wearing 2 different hats. So I'm like, okay, she's going to last at least 2 episodes after this. There have been a couple, you can really look at confessionals, what people are wearing, and go, I haven't noticed that yet. Okay, they haven't, we're fashion people. We like to see what everyone's wearing. So I think that does, spoil the show a little. So we know Danielle's going to make it at least 2 roundtables.
Hi, Victor. Victor says Big Brother players are fumbling traitors so hard as traitors. Yeah.
American Big Brother players.
Fair. Did we hear about how they're calling people for season 4? No. Tell me more. Who's on that list? Do you want to hear? Hi, Fallon. Fallon says, I think Danielle might get her way because she was so wishy-washy during the challenge, but her name didn't come up once during the round table, I'm pretty sure. Not that they've showed us, but I don't know if Danielle is off the hook with, like, there was, we'll talk about it, but a confessional by Chriselle being like, what is she doing? Like,
yeah, flags were red.
So I am curious about that there. Okay, so, and also I wouldn't be surprised if production might do a sneaky thing. You know what I mean? Like kind of like how they did the 3, they had to do that secret mission where they had to get this short list. They might do something like that, and maybe there's no round. I feel like they would want to save Boston Rob if it looked like he was going. So not that they interfere, but maybe they interfere a little bit.
Yeah, a little push, a little. Let's do that today instead of tomorrow. Give him one more day.
Yeah, so I feel like they want to give him as many episodes as possible. So I don't think that Boston Rob is going out next episode.
No.
DM says, I heard 3 rumored challenge names. Tell me, DM. Tell me. So at breakfast, first in is Danielle, Dylan, and Tom. And Dylan is excited to work with Boston Rob, especially on this banishment of Bob the Drag Queen. And he's a Big Brother's or a Survivor super fan, knows who Boston Rob is. So he's just loving working with the Godfather.
Yeah.
I love Dylan.
I love Dylan too. I mean, misguided, I should say. I think misguided. I love that he's speaking up. A lot of people haven't been saying much. Yes, we see them speak in their confessionals or one-on-one with other players, but during the roundtable, I want some names. I want you to be vocal. I think Dylan's a huge reality television fan, so he recognizes these people.
But also being vocal gets you murdered. So
it does.
It's a very fine line. Yeah. I mean, I don't, every time I talk about the show, I think of like a different way to play, a new strategy of like, oh, I would do this or I would do that. I still think though, I would find out who the traitors were or who I really believe they were, buddy up to them, get a traitor bestie.
Absolutely.
And play dumb and take out other people.
Yeah, play for recruitment.
I would be, playing for recruitment, A, or B, like, trying to build a group of people that will take out the traitors a little bit later down the road.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a harder game because you have less information, of course, and people are always get suspicious and you have to worry about people and their stupid inklings and like I saw her gasp and like there's a lot of things.
They scratch their nose. That means that they look down like you kind of, Nikki and Sierra, they both know that they're on the chopping block because of the coffins. So you're picking straws right now.
DM says Mark, Long, Tech, and Laurel. Do you know who any of these people are, Jojo?
I know who Laurel is, of course.
Laurel. Of course. How do you know? What do you mean, of course?
Oh, Laurel, Queen Laurel of winning the challenge. Tech, I don't recognize. Mark Long.
Mark is like the original, the challenger. He was on the first Road Rules.
Okay. I mean, watched it during COVID, but if I saw him, would probably recognize him. Tech.
You watched Road Rules during COVID?
No, like the challenge when I started from the beginning.
So he would be on the early seasons for sure. Tech, he was on Hawaii, I think. Real World Hawaii with Ruthie.
Ruthie.
Him and Ruthie jumped naked in the pool when they first got to anyways. Those two, Tech would be good. Mark, Laurel, right now, people are not fans of Laurel because of how she acted this most recent season of the challenge. So,
What about Michelle Fitzgerald? I think she would do really great on the Traitors. And she has the Survivor Challenge crossover.
I can take her on it. Would you want her as a traitor or faithful?
Ooh, that's tough. I would probably want her as a faithful. But I think she would do. I think Michelle's a good gamer, so she played Survivor really well both times.
Debbie says that's what CT did with Phaedra. She protected him. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're anybody that's going to be really in your corner, you want to keep them around, even if they're not on the same team as you. Sierra curses too much, so she's a traitor. That was so ridiculous. Like, Derek, I think when I'm with the suspect, like they're deflecting when they're swearing. It's like,
and to see a detective do so poorly. Really? Ugh.
Charlie says Dylan rocking the backwards cap this episode made me giggle.
He has his thirst trap stuff online. He's he looks great.
And he's Aquarius, so I wonder when his birthday is.
Should find out.
Tech would be good vibes only, but around table don't see much. Tech though, Tech would be, he's very funny and would have good confessionals. He'd be a good faithful for sure. Definitely good faithful. Next in is Chriselle, Bob, and Wes. And then Boston Rob, Chriselle, and Brittany. Wait, but Boston Rob thinks the game is hard. Oh yeah, so in his confessional, Boston Rob was saying the game is hard. This game is hard. So I think he's realizing that he might have done too much with taking out Bob the drag queen. I think that's the trick of the Traitors is you can't look like you have too much information. You have to look like, I think, how he was playing it with Tony is how he kind of needed to play it with Bob. And then maybe get everybody else on board, but not being like, I have for 2 words for you. I don't remember what he said. You're lying or whatever it was. You're wrong.
You're a liar. Yeah.
And I was like, but at least he recognized the game is hard. And so he's analyzing.
Yes.
And revising potentially.
I mean, learning, but it's also season 3. Everyone has had the chance to watch international versions of the show.
So this would have to apply to Danielle as well?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000 bazillion %.
I feel bad for Nikki. She comes in with Sierra and Derek because she doesn't really know how to defend herself. She's being targeted. People are saying that she's a traitor. She's being put in the coffin, and she doesn't know how to make people believe her. What do you think she could do?
God, I didn't know Nikki before this, before Traitors, but I think she's lovely. You do have to sell yourself though. That's a big part of it. You might not be comfortable with it. Not everyone does that all day or every day. So looking at the game, and she knows that she's faithful. Get her Bambies. I mean, you do have to find numbers and say, okay, if the whole thing is me or Sierra, I've got to work all day today to make sure Sierra goes, but she's probably going the next day. So I think trying to come up with something else, changing the narrative. Maybe, she's not a gamer, but creating chaos somewhere else.
Yeah, what she could do is being like, listen, I know people are coming for me. I don't want to leave the game yet. I am a faithful. You are my friends. Guys, let's just get the numbers and get Sierra out. We can do that. She needs to rally some numbers with some conviction to save herself, but instead of just defending herself. Yeah, I agree. Brittany, they're talking about who would likely to be murdered. She thinks the most obvious murder would be Gabby, saying this to Nikki. Why would you think would this be the most obvious murder?
Gabby's pretty well, she speaks out. She gives her opinion. She's part of the Bambi crew. I think eliminating an obvious alliance member would make sense. I think those are 2 reasons.
Oh my God, Carolyn's stumbling into the breakfast. She just looks like she's wasted. I know she doesn't drink, but it's just like
And it works for her. Like people have kind of like written her off a little bit. Like, oh, this, the personality hire, as I like to say. She's here. Let's do this. Love what Carolyn was wearing too.
Yeah,
That
the jumpsuit.
blue. Yeah, I guess that was Reed from Survivor. His mom's like 80s, 90s outfit. And Carolyn got to pick it out and was like, I'm wearing this at the Traitors and looked great.
I love that jumpsuit. I definitely made a mental note of that.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan tells Danielle that Carolyn's all over the place. And I'm like, is there anything else you're going to say with this or just that? Like, I was wondering what that meant. I thought he was going to be like, that means she's a faithful, that means she's a traitor, but he didn't finish the sentence.
Or maybe just physically, she is all over the place.
She is. Debbie says, yeah, breaking out the Bambis plus Bob H made sense. They were the ones that got Tony out. It's true. The numbers for the Bambis is actually starting to become too powerful. So I can see breaking up the Bambis being a good idea. I don't know if it'd be like if it's too obvious. I don't know if it's too obvious because it's like, who does that point to if Gabby's taken out?
But if anyone knows Tony, I'd want Tony out. I'd vote him out, even if I thought he was faithful.
Likely.
Likely I'd say.
Well, or no, I'd maybe try to. Well, I don't know if I'd want to work with Tony, to be honest. Hi, Sudani. Sudani says, hi, everyone. None of my friends watch Traitors, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Last episode was wonderfully messy. Yeah. So wonderfully messy. It all has been quite messy so far, which is great. So Danielle isn't sure that she can work with Carolyn to take out Rob. And I was like, what? You sigh. Why you sigh?
Like we said earlier, I think Danielle can work with specific people, right? For whatever reason, they don't mesh. And it's like a mother quake that could be happening. And, I wanted to see those two, especially at the end of last episode. They had their discussion, like, we can't trust Rob. We have to come together and somehow eliminate this man.
Well, that actually doesn't happen linearly yet.
In the edit, we're supposed to think, okay, they're going to team up. Mm-hmm. And now Danielle wants to overcomplicate things by eliminating Carolyn to pick a new traitor that's ideal for her.
Yeah.
What makes her think that Rob's not going to be the one to pick Dylan or, someone that's beneficial to his game?
So who do you think that Danielle would pick?
Maybe Dylan, but then, you have Dylan and Boston Rob connection.
Does she not recognize that Dylan is not in love, but like loves Boston Rob?
Maybe not, but do you know who she should want to pick?
Right, Brittany. Yeah. But she doesn't trust Brittany. So
no.
I think that she thinks that Brittany would get one over on her again. So but that's the pick that I think that she should do. But I don't think she would.
Do we think that Brittany knows Danielle's a traitor? I think she knows. I think that's going to be a reveal in the next couple of episodes where Brittany's sitting in the confessional going, oh yeah, Danielle's a traitor. I've clocked it from the beginning.
Fallon says, Danielle being against working with Carolyn doesn't make sense to me. I think she wants to recruit, but who even knows if she'll last long enough to do that? Yeah. They might be recruiting with her banishment. That's also, I know you haven't seen some outfits, but I don't know. I don't know who's going to win this battle right now.
Fair.
Debbie says, who exactly does Danielle want to recruit to take out Rob? Derek, who would be smarter than her? If that would ruin the season. If Danielle brings Derek in, if Rob goes out and brings Derek into the turret. Now, I don't know if he's just saying this, but on his Twitter, someone asked him if he would want to be a traitor. And he said, no, like with the families that I'm working with, I'm going to work with in the future. I wouldn't want them to see me being deceitful, whatever. Like I want to be a faithful, even though being a traitor would be easier. I'm really happy with my role as a faithful. Now, do you think he just said that because he's covering up the fact that he gets recruited?
No, I don't think Derek gets recruited.
Okay, good.
I'd be shocked if someone decided to choose him for recruit. That is insanity. Out of especially with all three of the traitors now, I think they know not to have Derek up there with them. They've all seen Big Brother 16.
Yeah. Haven't we all? Okay, so Where are we? So Gabby, Robin, and Sam are the short list. Then we hear a knock, 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 and Sam and Gabby are out. They did go with Rob's plan to take out Robin. Don't think it's the greatest. It could be because Robin was very for Bob the Drag Queen. Who did Robin vote for last episode? Did she vote? Must have been one of the girls, right?
I don't remember.
Let's see if I have my notes here somewhere. Just because West starts. Okay. Robin voted for Sierra.
There it is.
So why wouldn't he just let that play out still and they take Sierra out next? Because I don't think that she has social capital to come for him, right?
No, I wouldn't. I think it was a terrible choice. I don't think it would. They thought it was going to cause chaos. It didn't cause chaos. It was
No
like, okay,
loss.
now we're down to one housewife. Does anyone think Dolores is the traitor? Or what? Is it Dolores? She's a traitor now? I think that proves that she's a faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Taj says we haven't seen Brittany comment on Danielle at all, so maybe she does know. Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a thing, but we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, she shouldn't be kissing Danielle's ass then, and if she wants to get recruited, because Brittany wants to be recruited.
Yeah.
So back to the turret, we're seeing Carolyn being apprehensive about going with this Robin plan, and then we see Robin getting her letter. Dolores feels awful that another housewife is gone, and she was a diehard faithful, and I guess that is the reason why, for the most part, that she was taken out, is that there is no suspicion on her whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I do think they should have gone for Sam, because Sam might be a problem for Rob.
Yep.
Alan enters, and they're going to be working a different muscle for this mission. It's going to be puzzling. Ivar does tell Derek and Carolyn that he is suspicious of Rob with the whole, and I'm like, man, you should have gotten Ivar as well, because not that he has influence, but he's not afraid.
No.
Like, he doesn't know what these people are capable of. Like, he's
100%.
not a gamer at all, and so he's worrisome because he just might blurt things out and get you in hot water.
Yeah.
So he's he's curious about this theory with Rob.
Yes.
That Wes brought up.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Wes.
Dylan, Brittany, and Bob are talking after the breakfast, and they are still suspicious of Nikki. I would never be suspicious of Nikki, but maybe they're just pretending to get faithfuls out, even though they know that they're not, just so that it's not them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the premise of the first couple of votes. If you're not sure of anything, it's group mentality. All right, we're all jumping on her. When it came down to the votes, we saw that happen.
So Hooven here says, I like how unpredictable the previews have been. Last week's made us think that Rob was doomed, but we kind of got Danielle kind of spiraling. I have no idea what happens if Carolyn confronts her in the tower. Yeah, well, the preview for the next episode looks like it might become a head-to-head with Carolyn and Danielle.
Yeah.
Ooh. Nikki and Gabby are talking about it could be one of them. It would be one of them that was murdered. So they are happy, of course, that all the Bambis are still there. And Bob wants to be an honorary Bambi. Would you too?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
I would be a Bambi.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like big Bambi eyes though. You have Bambi eyes. You'd be a Bambi.
I could be a Bambi. Like two girlies, but but the thing is, I'd be like, hey, you three, who are we voting for tonight? So we're 4 votes.
But the only thing, though, is if they keep on voting together, then they look too powerful. And I think the traitors would take them out because obviously as numbers dwindle, four votes is powerful.
Yep. Unless it looks like, okay, one of these people is a traitor because they're all still here.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So Rob and Sam and Ivar are talking, and Ivar tells Rob, I was like, I mean, this is good for Rob, but like bad move. Wes has been coming for you hard. And I think Rob handled it decently well. How'd you think?
Yeah, I thought, I mean, Rob's got experience, right? It's not the first time he's ever heard his name be brought up for elimination, or he's a master at games. So I'm not surprised that he took it well. I think going directly to the source, I've never seen Wes as nervous. I thought it was so awkward. I thought Rob definitely could tell that he was lying to him. That was,
but also like I think that Wes could tell that Rob was definitely a traitor.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be best to buddy up to Rob and
for Wes' sake, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I don't know if Wes knows the metagame of Traitors as well as he knows the challenge. Because I think, well, if he does that, I think that maybe later on in the game he'd be able to use him and Derek and maybe a couple other people to take out Rob when it gets close to the end game.
Yeah.
Right? And so when Rob confronts Wes, Wes, or your name was coming up. I'm like, okay.
Calm down.
Like, how do you know what I was going to ask you about or talk to you about?
Weird.
He says that, you know, he tells him, but he heard that he was saying his name. Rob was such a mafia boss with like this confrontation. And Wes is like, I was complimenting you.
Got him. Brilliant.
No, lies. So then we see Rob telling Carolyn, like, it's me and you to the end. Me and you, like, I want to work with you. It's me and you to the end. Carolyn doesn't buy it, but I think it would be good for Carolyn to side with Boston Rob a little bit, get to the end, and she could take him out later on. I know it will be hard, but like, I think that would probably be a good path for her.
Yeah, but there's the fear of getting cut by Boston Rob. They saw it happen. They saw how quickly it happened. I wouldn't trust Rob as a traitor. Hell no. I think you take the shot when you can get it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, because I do think working with traitors is very smart.
Absolutely, you'll take the shot. I think Danielle, we're learning that she's going to do the exact same thing. And I think that she's like not going to take Carolyn as far. Like Rob thinks that he can control Carolyn more, get her to the end and do whatever. So Carolyn has that information about Boston Rob. I would latch onto that and just be one step ahead of him if I could.
100%.
So then Danielle pulls Carolyn, and Carolyn tells Danielle that Boston Rob just said this to her. And this makes Danielle think that Boston Rob and Carolyn are pushing her out. And I was like, oh dear. Oh dear. Not good. Not
a good read on Danielle.
Not a good read. So now Danielle wants to throw Carolyn under the bus. I'm like, are you kidding me? No. And recruit someone better. You don't necessarily know what's better, Danielle, because
I think Carolyn said it best. You can't necessarily plan. Like Big Brother is such a different game than Traitors. You really do have to play it day by day. Someone says one thing, everything can change for banishment that night. During the day. So it's you do have to play day for day for day. You can think ahead, but you can't be planning ahead. You do not know what's going to happen. Big Brother, you have a full week. Yes, Danielle can come up with strategies and say, in 3 weeks from now, I want this to happen. La-di-di, la-di-da. But the Traitors is a different game, and I think trusting in Carolyn would be a smart decision.
Diana says Wes said on his Patreon that he's trying to use Sandra's traitor angel method and then realize that he said too much after the round table the previous episode. Yep. I mean, that's really what you want to do, because you don't want a new traitor to be recruited, because that just creates more confusion. And
unless it's you.
Unless it's you. So Danny says, like, Rob already has the heat on him. Why try to create a new narrative? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yes, Danielle, like, we don't get it. So en route to the mission, we see that Sierra is scared. She knows it's going to be her versus Nikki. Rob is with the Bambis, and Rob lies and says that Bob the drag queen told him that he wanted Rob to vote out Nikki. And Nikki is shocked here that, and she's shocked because it was a lie.
Yeah. Why not? You can lie on someone else that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
No problem.
So they pull up to this old church, and we see Alan dressed as, I said an angel, but it's not an angel. What was he dressed as?
Like the Statue of Liberty?
No, a saint. He's dressed as a saint. Players, welcome to church, and there's different riddles that they're needing to answer. You have a question?
No, that's just my hand. That's my shirt, my church hand. So,
okay. Hey. Take me to church. So they basically have to answer a riddle. They step over their line, and there's different urns that are attached to words that could be the answer to this riddle. Then they smash these little urns, and if it's gold dust, that means they win $2,500. But they also have their portrait that they could place on the shield wall. There's 2 spots for that, and at the end, whichever 2 portraits are there, they will win the shield. Now, the strategy in that is, I would think, to go later and get the questions right, so that you would likely get the shield.
Yeah.
How did you find this challenge, and maybe how Danielle played it?
Oh God, Danielle, Lord, I think Brittany had it right. You want to go near the end. You want to feel out when the final questions are happening. The way Danielle played it was exactly how you shouldn't play it. She didn't look scared for murder. She twice chose someone else and not her own photo.
Yeah, so she chooses Dolores because she wants to, like, you know, the house people are coming for the housewives, so she wanted to protect Dolores, and everybody's like, what? Why? And then, like, gets another question right. Well, she uses that picture to take down Derek, and Derek is like her, supposed to be her ride or die big brother friend.
She didn't give her a shield, like,
and decided to keep
Tom
on the board. What? Like, what is she thinking? If anything, she could have been like, hey, Dolores, I'm going to take you now, but will you take me later if there's an opportunity? Or something, like, get a deal, because I understand not wanting to put your picture up early because of what we talked about, but maybe making a deal, being like, hey, if I put you up now and you have the opportunity later, will you put my picture up there? Now, if your picture's up and covered, could it be replaced on it? Does it go onto back onto the choosing wall, or is it out for good?
It goes back to the choosing wall because, as we saw, she took Derek and put him back up, and that put a lot of red flags out there for folks. I thought it was horrifying. That was actually really painful to watch. Yeah,
because then she started crying after, because Dolores was like, aren't you scared of getting murdered? And then tears started.
Yeah, and she's like, don't put this on me. Don't put this on me. I'm like, yeah, Dolores. I didn't know Dolores before this.
I do love Dolores. She's not a great game player, but, like, she's very who she is. Like, she's very kind of a caricature of, like, you know, she said that her daughter of a cop in New Jersey is very much, she is that. Tears are becoming a lot for everybody. It's just not, it was unnecessarily stressful. I think that, I don't know what she was trying to accomplish. It didn't make sense. It wasn't thought through. It made her look just oddly suspicious. Tom is confident in riddles. He says that, you know, he's mixed Dan Brown and Harry Potter or something like that, or he's studied them both.
What the hell was he wearing this episode too?
I think he's getting on his fashion sense.
A mess. A lot of these men, though, like, Parvati, I guess she spoke to Rob and was like, hey, you can't wear t-shirts and shorts at this castle. Like, I'm going to help you pick out some blazers and some shoes.
So they all go on the different, like, maybe I'll do another pod and talk about the different riddles. So I thought that they were kind of fun. So anything else about this challenge that we want to talk about?
I thought Brittany was gonna get a shield. I thought that's what it was kind of leading up to. So Sierra jumping up and is it Kiera or Sierra?
Sierra.
Her jumping up and getting the shield. Happy for her.
Hi, lovable Nikki.
I thought it was something different, and we haven't seen it on the UK version. So that was nice to have a little surprise challenge.
Yeah, a new challenge. Yeah, I like the challenge. I liked it that it wasn't something that only the men were going to be able to do well at. So I definitely was into that. So in the end of this mission, Sierra and Dolores are the shield holders. Sierra's basically being like, if I don't go home, I need a shield. So, which I would think actually, no, she wouldn't need a shield, because then everybody would be thinking that she is a traitor for sure. But yeah, you know,
there's two sides there's like two sides to every sword, though, in the sense, you know, it's like, are we being double bluffed here, or it's always tough to tell.
So Alan leaves him with a riddle of neither a rectangle nor a square. Each night I'm reduced by one chair after tensions turn to full warfare. What am I? Round table. Dun, dun, dun. So in the car ride, Danielle decides to throw out Carolyn's name.
Yeah.
And this was a very Dan style of throwing out Carolyn's name.
Yeah.
I was like, this didn't work for him.
No.
She says, trust me on this.
No,
Dylan doesn't agree. Of course, Dylan doesn't agree. Carolyn's playing this, like, doesn't know what's going on character very, very well. Like,
yeah.
Trust me on this. Dylan doesn't agree. Brittany and Danielle are talking this back at the castle, and Danielle doesn't, like, tells Brittany that, yeah, maybe we should look at Carolyn, and Brittany's like, no, and she's like, she said your name. And, like, she said her name in terms of being murdered, but never in terms of being
a traitor.
Yes. Lovable Nikki, this is the first time you've questioned Danielle. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know, Nikki. It's really frustrating because I want her to do well so badly, but now I kind of want her to fail really badly, and it's like, oh, how the tables have turned.
Yes.
Ms. Brown Sugar says, tough to see that Sierra is not really finding her groove. Multiple scenes of her on the outskirts of groups, kind of alone. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really have, like, she's kind of in the Bravo grouping. I'm surprised that she didn't kind of group herself in with the Bambis, because, like, I would think would be her most easy fit, but
it's Nikki. It's her against Nikki, right?
Absolutely. And so she doesn't really have the Bambis on her side here.
So she could now. You know,
now,
like once the episode is finished, she could, I doubt it, but she could find her footing.
So Chrishell then pulls Rob and lets her know that she was suspicious of Nikki's reaction in the car when Rob had said that Bob the drag queen said her name. And Chrishell's really nervous and doesn't want Rob to necessarily say anything tonight. And I'm like, whoa, Chrishell, A, this looks kind of traitorous. But B, like, oh, why are you turning on your friend, even if you know she's a traitor? Which she's not, but even if you think you know. Yeah. Rob, Derek, Wes, Brittany, and Danielle are all talking. They think that Derek thinks that they should go for Sierra. Wes thinks Nikki. Gabby and Nikki are talking. And Nikki tells Gabby, I'm a faithful. We get to the round table. Ivar starts. He says 3 people are suspicious of here: Nikki, Sierra, and Rob. I was like, the cojones on this man for bringing up Rob here. Like, I get Ivar. I wanted Ivar out of there a long time ago, so get him out of there. But I don't know. They're keeping around all these men that are starting to get suspicious of you, Rob.
Too many men.
And I thought Rob's responded well to his suspicion, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Sam says, well, I'll be on you, Rob, if you don't die tonight. And I'm like, oh man, like I think that they might have to take out Sam and be like, there's no way that I would take out Sam if I am a traitor. Like, he has to play that card.
Yeah.
I think.
That's a smart card to play.
That's like the only card I think he has here. Or do the same with Derek, but I don't know if he has the intel to take out Derek. So Nikki doesn't think that Rob would kill his own, doesn't think that he would kill I'm like, Nikki, why are you saving Rob?
Survivor.
Then push Rob in front of that bus. It's to save yourself, Nikki, because if it's not Rob, it's you. Sierra does defend herself a little bit. She thinks though that Nikki is too even keeled and she doesn't really have any emotions and she doesn't get excited over anything. And does she have a belly laugh? Does she really laugh with her gut? I'm like, okay, so people not laughing to your liking is traitorous.
Yes.
Sus. So sus. So then Chriselle is going to speak and she's so nervous and she's
spit it out.
She's crying and I was like, oh, this isn't good. Rob looked thrilled to me that this was happening.
Quite thrilled.
Yeah, I felt bad for Nikki because she couldn't handle being targeted. Like, she couldn't respond. Like, she really was in a tough spot. So Bob H thinks that Rob would be a badass traitor. I was like, Bob, shh. That's not roundtable talk.
Yeah,
that's like
inside voice.
Yeah, that's that he would be it would be a badass move to take out another traitor to establish dominance. I'm like, Boston Rob is taking note here that you are smart. And he's going to get you banished very soon if
or murdered.
A murder might be too sus right now, but it's going to be on the short list probably.
Yeah.
We get to the votes. Pretty much everybody voted for Nikki. Nikki voted for Sierra. Dylan voted for Gabby.
My dad.
Nikki voted for Sierra. Oh, I said that already. Sorry. Who else? Yeah, everybody else voted for Nikki. And so Gabby is crying. She's like, you're the best part of this game, the best part of being here. I feel bad. And so when Nikki goes up to the front, she says, this is a win for me because I get to go home to my son.
Yeah.
But it's a loss for you because I am unfaithful. Poor Chriselle. And then Tom decides to comfort. I don't know. You probably don't want to hear from me right now, but like, it took real balls to say that. It's like,
you're around the round table. Thanks, Tom. That hat off your head. Cage boy.
But we do see Derek walking off with Wes, telling him to watch Rob. Watch how Rob watches everybody and he analyzes and takes everything in. Like, watch him.
Yes.
I was like, okay, Derek. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not a fan of Derek, so I kind of want to, but yeah, I don't want Derek to get power over Rob. I'm a Rob fan over Derek, so
1,000,000%, yes.
So hopefully, that doesn't happen. So Dylan does tell Carolyn. He holds off for like a second, like I can't say someone that I'm really close to, but I can't say who. Danielle.
Okay.
Not even like a second did he hold that in.
No.
Danielle threw her name out and she's like, I won't say a word. And she's like fighting with Dylan. She's like, why didn't you bring it up? Bring it up. Like, which I think I love that Carolyn is not afraid to go toe to toe with Danielle. So that's really fun. I love that she has that information. I think it's helpful for Carolyn to know that Danielle is already coming for her. Yeah. And it's going to be an explosive turret because they all hate each other. And Carolyn says to them, like, I want to kill one of you.
Yeah, I want to kill you both. Well, no shit.
Which is great. All right, but I got to get out of here because I'm going to go see Come From Away. Do you have any final thoughts, words that you want to talk about this episode?
No, I thought it was a great episode. I'm looking forward to the next. What's next? Number 6?
Yeah.
6, yeah. Okay.
Me too.
I will say though, during UK this week, there was something I'm very curious to discuss with you because I have a feeling it might be happening this season as well. But
Okay. Okie dokie. Well, we will touch back in with Jojo soon and to see, like, I'll catch up on the Traitors UK, and then maybe we'll have like a crossover, discussion of like the two Traitors that were airing at the same time.
love it.
Well, thank you, everybody. Yes, they have been entertaining, but they've just been not good Traitors. It's been fun. It's definitely been a fun time. Thanks for hanging out with me on my birthday. I'm going to go
Happy
see a
birthday.
musical and go out for dinner. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, ring the bell so you know every time we go live, especially on special times. And we should be back next week with Mel B to discuss the next episode, or maybe it's Jojo again. Who knows? But we'll be back. Bye.
Bye.